Welcome to the tutorial for AlphaLab's Live Monitor menu. This is your live portfolio's control room. Here you see which strategies are trading, how their score evolves, how the drawdown is doing, and any alerts. It's also where you start and stop the daemon, the process that listens to the market and fires the signals. We'll go through every panel, every button, and every table column, one by one, so you have no doubts. The Live Monitor menu auto-refreshes every 60 seconds. At the very top, there are three bands. The Live Sizing banner, which reminds you with what risk size the book was promoted. The Daemon panel, with its status light and the Start, Stop, Restart, and View Log buttons. And the Watchdog panel, the supervisor that restarts the daemon if it hangs. Below that, a collapsible daemon stats panel. And finally, the four tabs: Active Strategies, Score Evolution, Drawdown Analysis, and Alerts Log. Let's start with the banner at the top. This green Live Sizing banner tells you at a glance which sizing configuration is actually live. It shows the promoted variant, in this case default 1%, the risk per trade, here 0.5%, and the stop loss in ATR multiples. Then, 7 of 7 loaded means the daemon reconstructed the rules of all 7 active strategies. 3 dormant are rules that are loaded but not firing lately because the market regime isn't triggering them. You also see the account size and the worst-case aggregate risk per bar. And on the right, the date of the last promote from the portfolio menu. If you've never promoted anything, this banner says so and points you to Portfolio, Promote to Live. This is the daemon panel, the heart of live mode. The daemon is a 24/7 process that listens to the OANDA feed, evaluates each active strategy's rules on every bar close, and dispatches signals to Telegram, email, or webhook. The dot on the left is the status light, gray when stopped, green when trading live, and amber when in dry run. The header shows the state and the PID, and the line below it the counters. Ticks received, bars evaluated, signals dispatched, open positions, errors, and uptime. One important thing: the daemon runs as a separate process from the interface, so if you close AlphaLab, the daemon stays alive. To shut it down completely, press Stop before closing. On the right of the panel are the controls. The Dry Run checkbox, or Paper Mode, makes the daemon evaluate rules and record signals in the tracker, but without calling Telegram, email, or webhook. It's ideal to validate the logic before sending real messages. Note: Dry Run applies when you press Start or Restart, not on the fly. The Start button launches the daemon using the instruments and timeframes of your promoted book. Stop shuts it down completely. Restart relaunches it, which is how you apply a change to the Dry Run checkbox. And View Log opens the daemon's log file to see the detail of what's happening. Notice that while the daemon is stopped, only Start is available. When it runs, Stop and Restart become enabled. Below is the Watchdog panel, the supervisor. It's an independent process that checks the daemon's health at its local endpoint every 30 seconds. If the daemon hangs 3 failures in a row, that is 90 seconds, it restarts it automatically and notifies the admin via Telegram. Its status light and header tell you whether it's active and with which PID, and the counters show how many checks it has done, how many restarts, and the consecutive failures. With Start Watchdog and Stop Watchdog, you turn it on or off. Without a watchdog, a silent daemon crash could go unnoticed until your next login. That's why, in production, it's recommended to keep it always on. Right below is Daemon Stats, a collapsible card. Press the arrow to expand it, and you'll see 5 rows of operational metrics that the daemon flushes every 5 seconds. Ticks shows the total received, the per second rate, and the last minute. During London or New York hours, you'll see around 10 ticks per second, and 0 when the market is closed. Bars counts the closed bars aggregated by time frame. Signals breaks down the signals by outcome: take profit, stop loss, expired, and open, with the win rate and average P&L. Channels measures the success rate of closure notifications. Below 95%, you should check the logs. And errors shows the total and those of the last hour. It's your morning glance: feed connected, ticks flowing, reasonable win rate, and channels above 95%. The first tab, Active Strategies, is your live books table. Each row is a strategy, identified by its symbol and time frame. Top left, there's a status filter to show only active, frozen, closed, or all of them. The table has 11 columns we'll go through one by one. Symbol, TF, score, delta score, sharp 3M, MDD 3M%, trades 3M, age in days, status, daemon, and last signal. And below the table, two gradient buttons, export MT4 and export MT5. Let's go column by column. The first two columns, symbol and TF, identify the strategy, the instrument, for example USTCAD, and its time frame, for example D1. Score is the live score, recomputed with the rolling metric over the last few weeks. The scale is key, 75 or more is premium, between 50 and 74 is okay, and below 35 it's a candidate for rotation. The number's color tells you at a glance, strong tones for high scores, dim gray for weak ones. Delta score is the score change versus the previous snapshot. Positive means it's improving, a negative greater than 5 points signals likely deterioration, and the strategy becomes a candidate to be replaced. The next four columns measure recent live performance over a 3-month window. Sharp 3-month is the Sharpe ratio over that period. MDD 3-month percent is the maximum drawdown of the last 3 months, shown as a negative percentage. Trades 3-month counts how many trades the strategy made in that window. 0 trades together with the daemon in dormant tells you the market simply hasn't triggered it. And age, in days, is how long the strategy has been in the book since admission. There's an important detail here. Strategies under 30 days old are in their grace period, so the system won't freeze them automatically even after a bad start. The last 3 columns are the most important for trading. Status is the strategy's management state. Active means it's trading. Frozen means it accepts no new entries because its drawdown reached 15% or because the portfolio went into freeze mode. And closed means it was removed by a 20% drawdown or terminal decay. Daemon is different. It tells you what the evaluator does with that rule. Loaded, in green, means the rule was reconstructed and is evaluated on every bar close. Dormant, in orange, is a loaded rule but with 0 trades in 90 days because the current regime doesn't trigger it. It's not an error. It will fire when the market changes. And dropped, in red, means the rule could not be reconstructed at the last promote, usually because its features are no longer in the pool. The daemon ignores it, and the fix is to rerun discovery for that symbol. Last signal is the date and time of the last fired signal, or a dash if there hasn't been any yet. Top left of the table is the status dropdown. By default, it shows all statuses, every strategy, but you can filter to see only the active, the frozen, or the closed ones. It's handy, for example, to review at a glance only the frozen ones and decide whether to replace them. Your choice is saved, so next time you come in you'll find the same filter applied. Below the table, on the right, are the two gradient buttons, Export MT4 and Export MT5. They don't export a loose file. What they do is open the MetaTrader Expert Advisor folder, where you'll find the already compiled EA and an install guide in PDF, bilingual, in Spanish and English. That EA is the real bridge to take the live monitor's trades to your MetaTrader 4 or 5 account. The EA was chosen over a TradingView export because Pine can only show a frozen snapshot, whereas the EA actually executes the strategies autonomously. Press the button for your platform, follow the PDF, and you'll have the replica running in MetaTrader. The second tab, Score Evolution, plots each strategy's score over time. The vertical axis is the score from 0 to 100, and the horizontal axis is time in UTC. Each strategy is a colored line, and the legend on the right tells you which symbol and time frame each color corresponds to. The 3 horizontal dotted lines are the reference bands, premium at 75, rotation at 60, and OK at 50. That way you see at a glance which strategies sit comfortably high and which are approaching the rotation zone. If there's no history yet, the tab shows the message Run Live Score to populate score history. It means the live score hasn't been recomputed enough times yet to draw a trend. The third tab, Drawdown Analysis, is built from real closed trades and has 2 stacked charts. The top one is the equity curve on base 100. It starts at 100 and rises or falls with cumulative P&L. The dotted line at 100 marks the starting point. The bottom one is the drawdown versus the peak, always 0 or negative, where 0 means you're at highs, and the lower it goes, the further from the peak. There you see 2 references, the red dashed line of the Darwin X hard limit at -10%, and an orange dotted line with the maximum drawdown reached. And at the very bottom, the summary footer says it all in one sentence. Current equity and total return, the maximum drawdown, the margin you have left until the Darwin X limit, the total number of trades broken down into take profit, stop loss, expired and manual, the win rate, and the average P&L per trade. If there are no closed trades yet, you'll see the message that it's waiting for the first outcome. The fourth tab, Alerts Log, is the portfolio's alert register. On top, there's a summary with the total number of alerts and their breakdown by severity, danger, warn, and info. Below it, a table with 5 columns. Timestamp is the alert's date and time. Strategy, which strategy generated it. Severity, the severity, color-coded, red for danger, orange for warn, and gray for info. Type is the kind of alert, and message, the descriptive text of what happened. When all is well, the table is empty and you'll see the message that there are no active alerts and the portfolio is operating within all thresholds. Per strategy drawdown below 15% and portfolio drawdown below 8%. That's exactly what you want to see. And that's the whole live monitor menu. In short, the banner on top tells you which sizing is live. With the daemon panel you start, stop, and restart the engine, and with the watchdog you keep it supervised. Daemon Stats is your morning glance. In the tabs, Active Strategies shows you each strategy's health column by column, score evolution its trend, drawdown analysis the equity curve and the risk, and alerts log any warning. And with Export MT4 or MT5 you take it all to MetaTrader. In the next videos we'll cover the rest of the menus in the same detail.